Hello guys, welcome back to Mr. Cloudbook channel. Today is the day 26 of the Kubernetes masterclass, and in this video I am going to explain about the static pods and what is the use of the static pods in the Kubernetes cluster. Here we are going to learn about the static pods. Static pods are special type of a pod in a Kubernetes that are directly managed by the kubelet on a specific node rather than the being managed by the Kubernetes API server. Okay, this is completely managed by the kubelet. Okay, completely static pod will managed by the kube, not by the Kubernetes API server. Static pods are useful for the running essential system components or for the debugging purpose. We use the static pods. Okay, so there are some characteristics for the static pods as well. So characteristics of the static pods, so we can see it from here itself. So these are the characteristics I mentioned here. So node specific, no API involvement like that. So node specific means static pods are tied to a specific node. Okay. So these are node specific. I mean these are only tied it to one node. Okay. Tied means these nodes will be placed on one node and they are defined by a configuration file on the node itself. So we have to define this particular static pod file. I mean, like whatever the file we use, right? We use pod.yaml file. So we need to place that file on that particular node. Okay. So what is that pod.yaml? I will use. So I have to place this on node itself. So in order to static pod to create. Second characteristic was no API server is needed. Okay, because we already talked about it. So it's completely node specific. So unlike a regular pods, so whenever we do a deploy a single pod, right, or run a single pod, it will managed by the Kubernetes API server. But static pod is unlike like the regular pods. So these are not created through the Kubernetes API servers. Instead of they created or they defined in a configuration file located on the node, and kubelet reads that file to create and manage the pod. Okay, so we will create a simple file pod.yaml file and we will place it on the node itself. Okay, so this is not Kubernetes API server managed. Okay, this pod doesn't managed by the Kubernetes API server, so there is no involvement. So everything, whatever the file you wrote on the pod.yaml will handle by this particular kubelet. So kubelet will take care and place that pod on that particular node. That is the second characteristic, and no replication. Okay, static pods are not part of the deployment or the replica set or any other controller. This means they do not have a self-healing or scaling capabilities. So here there is no replication means, so we can scale up to 3. Okay, scaling healing capabilities are not there. Okay, particularly we can't upgrade into 3 or 4. This is not possible for the static pods. Okay, like self-healing or anything, it is not possible on the static pods. Okay, pod manifest files. So where we have to store this particular manifest files on your nodes. Okay, because this particular static pods are node specific, right? We need to store this node specific file on the manifest file, and where we have to store that particular file. That is the question. Static pods are defined using a pod manifest files, which are typically stored in the specific directory on the node, which is slash etc slash kubernetes and manifest. Okay, so in this particular path we have to see that particular, or in this particular path we have to store the files. Okay, so the kubelet watches this directory for changes and creates and updates or deletes pods based on the manifest. Okay, so here the kubelet will check this particular path always. Okay, so this will check even if you update anything, the kubelet will take care and update the particular pod. Automatic mirror pods is the final characteristic for the static pod. When a static pod is created, the kubelet automatically creates a mirror pod in the Kubernetes API. So thus, this mirror pod is read-only representation of the static pod and allows users to see the static pod in the Kubernetes API, even though it is not managed by the API server. Okay. So what happens? This automatic mirror was created by the kubelet on your kube API server. Okay. Okay. Whenever you give the kubes, it will get pods or get nodes like that, right? So you can see the static pod as well. So even if we place it on the node itself, we can see it on the Kubernetes control plane because this kubelet will take care and create a mirror pod on the Kubernetes API server, even if it's not created by the API server. Okay. So let's see the how to deploy the simple static pod and everything. Okay. So let's see kubectl get nodes. Okay. So I have the control plane and there is a node one. Okay. So where is the path for your manifest file? This is the path Kubernetes and manifest. So here, if you give ls-la, these are all the static pod files. Okay. These are all the manifest files. These are all handled by the kubelet itself. Okay. And this is on control plane I'm showing. Okay. And you can see that pod manifest files we placed here etc Kubernetes and manifest. So we are in the same directory etc Kubernetes manifest file, and these are all the manifest files. Okay. And we can see that pod manifest files path is there and it will create the automatic mirror pods. And if you see kubectl, come down, kubectl get pods. Okay. So nothing is there, but you have to give -a. Okay. Because these particular manifest files, okay, etcd Cube API server will be created on a specific different namespace. That's why you have to give -a for all namespaces you can see. And you can see that etcd YAML is there, and this is the etcd control plane, which is created by this particular manifest file. Okay. And Cube API server comes from this manifest file. Okay. And next we have Cube control manager. Here is it. Okay. And Cube scheduler, and you have the Cube scheduler as well. Okay. These are all comes from the uh, manifest file. I mean this particular file location. Okay. And clear the screen and kubectl get nodes. So let's SSH into node 1. Okay. I want to go into the node 01. So now I am in the node 1. You can see it. Last time I have in the control plane, and you can directly give SSH node 1. Okay. Because this is automatically done. Okay. So and if you go inside cd/etc Kubernetes and manifest, and if you provide ISLFNLA, and you can see that there are no files here on the node. Okay. Right. So let's exit from the node 1. Okay. Let's try to run one simple pod. Okay. kubectl run nginx hyphen image equals to you can write anything. Okay. Like simple pod. We can use nginx 1.16. Okay. So you can see that it's directly created. Okay. Pod nginx is created. If you see kubectl get pods. Okay. It's still creating now. Okay. It will take some time to create. Okay. See, now it's running. So this is handled by the Kubernetes API server. Okay. So even if you describe kubectl describe pod, what is the pod name? Nginx. Okay. Enter. And you can see that it will by default handled by the default scheduler. Okay. So successfully assigned to node 01. Okay. Kubernetes API server, everything will be handled here. Okay. This is simple normal pod. Okay. Let's clear the screen. So what I will do, I will go inside this one, etc Kubernetes manifest. Okay. So what I will do, ls-la, I have these files. What I will do is I will do, you can give any name here. Okay. Nginx static dot YAML. So I'm giving this one. So what I will do, I will open a kubernetes.io case. Okay. So let's search for the simple pod definition file. So pod.yaml, you can write it if you want to. So you can come here and just copy this one. Okay. I copied it. So this is a simple pod definition file and I'll paste it here. Okay. API version kind metadata. Let's give the different name. Okay. Because we already have that name. Nginx1, Nginx1. Okay. Come out of it. So I'm not applying anything here. Okay. See ls-la. So I have this Nginx static YAML. Okay. If I give kubectl get pods now, and you can see that it's created the Nginx now 12 seconds ago because I created it here inside this particular manifest file path. Okay. This is called the static pod, which is created automatically from this particular manifest files. Okay. So that's why it's giving the Nginx one control plane. Okay, here you can see that Nginx control plane. Okay, because we are also able to see HCD control plane like that. Okay, let me clear the screen. ls-la. So kubectl get pods. Okay, sorry, -a, and you can see that HCD control plane. So kubeset developer control plane. See everything, whatever file we create inside this particular manifest path. So we are getting the control plane at the end. Okay. So in the next one. Okay. Let's clear the screen and let's SSH into node 01. Okay. So I will create one particular simple static pod on the inside this particular node 01. Okay. Again, I will copy the same one. Okay. Nginx. So let's go into that particular directory. This is the manifest file directory. Okay. So if you want to create a simple static pod, you have to go into that particular directory cd/etc kubernetes and manifest. And here you can give anything vi. So nginx to .html. Okay. So I'm just adding the same thing here. Okay. Nginx. I'm just exiting from here wq and enter. So here I am on the node 01, right? So on node we don't have anything. Even if you provide kubectl -a, you don't see anything here. Okay, if you see kubectl get pods, so you will get an error. You can say that you will get this particular error. Okay, let's exit from here, clear the screen. So I just added one file there. Okay, let's see pods, and you can see that it's created one static pod. So we didn't apply, we just added one simple file there, YAML file. Okay. Even if you can see here, kubectl get pods -o wide, where it's created node 01. Okay. Nginx one, because this is directly created normal pod. So then I again went inside the control plane manifest file path and created this one because that pod is directly placed on the control plane. Again, I went inside the node 01 and it's created a pod on the node 01. This is a static pod. Okay, you can see that. Let's SSH into node 01. Even if I delete, okay, let's try to delete kubectl delete pod, this one. Okay, I deleted it. Let's see, it's again creating 4 seconds ago. Okay, so this is how it will work. Okay, even if you try to delete it, it will work. Let's go into the SSH node 01. Even if you want to remove, you have to come again inside this node 01 and let's go inside Kubernetes manifest. Okay, ls-la. So you have to remove this particular file. Okay, here rm -rf and paste that file. So if we remove that file right here, let's exit and clear the screen and let's see the pods again. Kubectl get pods. Okay, you can see that it's deleted. Okay, even if you see kubectl get events and we can see it from here itself. Okay, see node 01 has been rebooted, like that you will get different kind of information here. Okay, you can see that node status is now sufficient memory. Nginx one we created. Okay, you can see that Nginx control plane, every event will be recorded here. Okay, events and everything. Okay, kubectl get pods. Okay, this is how you have to place a simple uh, static pod. Okay, SSH into node 01. So cryctl ps. So these are all the pods, will you can see it from here itself. Okay, let me reduce some screen. Okay, see, this is Nginx which is created manually, right? Okay, so what I will do, I will go inside Kubernetes manifest. So cryctl means, why you are using cryctl means I already explained in the Kubernetes one class for the Docker, which the container we are using container T, like that. So container D we use this particular CLI, so cryctl one. So which is like similar to Docker. Okay, Docker PS and cryctl PS both are same. So we nginx.yaml. So I'll create a simple file again, paste it and come out of it. Okay, I created a file. If you try to see again cryctlps, and you can see that it will show here, okay, your container, because even the pods will run inside the containers, right? You can see the containers using this command cryctlps on your worker node. Okay, so even if you give kubectl get pods, you will get this particular error, but you can give here, okay, cryctl, and this is created on nginx node 01, which is static pod, because we created a manifest file inside this one, okay, nginx.yaml on node 01, and exit. And you can see again, okay, if you see it here, kubectl get pods, so we have running this one nginx node 01. So cryctl ps, and you can see every file here, like the kube api scheduler, control manager, and everything. So nginx control plane one. So these are our like containers running on your control plane. Okay, you can see that there is no node 01 file here. Okay, this is there, this is there, but these two container are pods on the worker node. That's why we are not able to see here. Okay, we are not able to see here. And if you go inside SSH node 01, so if you provide cryctl ps, and you can see that we are not able to see the control plane manager, API server, and scheduler or node, because these containers are not running on your worker node, right? So these are mandatory on the control plane itself. That's why we can see the containers on your control plane. And here node 01. So whatever the containers running on your node 01 will be provided here using this particular cryctl ps command. Okay. So if you want to remove the particular manifest file, you have to go inside this manifest and ls-le and remove that file nginx.yaml. Okay. And if you provide cryctl ps again, and you can see that last time we have this one nginx node 1, so now it's deleted automatically. Okay, cryctl ps -l, and you can see it's exited state now. Okay, exit. So even if you want to remove, okay, kubectl get pods, this control plane static pod, you have to go again inside this one etc kubernetes and manifest ls-le and remove this one. Okay, rm -rf and paste it. And if you provide kubectl get pods again, so we have only one, which is normally created using the direct run command, imperative command. Okay, so this is how we have to create a simple static pod on your nodes. Okay, so these are useful in your CKA exam as well. Okay? If you want to know more about it, you can search here static pod, and you can see it here, create a static pod. Okay, before you begin, you can use killer code or play with your Kubernetes or your own Kubernetes cluster. That is up to you. You can go into that one. Okay, I hope you understand about the static pods. Okay, thanks for watching the video and keep on supporting the Mr. Cloudbook channel.